Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, we're gonna finally address the selector joint issue that I have in the E36 M3. I'm pretty sure that this is the issue. This is what I've narrowed it down to. If you've been following the channel, I've actually rebuilt the shifter linkage twice now. It was actually one of the first things I ordered for this car when I bought it because the shifter linkage was just so blown out and worn out. It was just almost impossible to drive the car. All the bushings have been replaced, so all we're doing today is actually getting that selector joint and properly installing it. I'll talk about that later. So getting in the car here, you guys know I have really had a problem with this in the past. Now you notice there's horrible slop in every gear. I will go ahead and link the videos down below of the previous videos on the shifter linkage stuff. I have done all of the bushings. I have actually installed a short shifter in this car, or a chassis mount short shifter. I've installed a dual shear selector rod, and I've still had some major issues with the shifter slop. Now I'm pretty sure a good chunk of it has to do with like the detent pins in the transmission, but when I installed the selector joint, I believe I did it improperly, and I got all this information from my research, so my research was incorrect. So this should be our culprit right here in this box. This is a brand new selector joint. You'll notice this goes on the transmission, and then this connects to the actual shift linkage so you can select your gear. These get worn out because they have foam in here. My mistake is that I actually trimmed this foam. I read on a forum that, you know, these things are so hard to install that you can just trim the foam so there's less foam, and you can really get it on there and get the pin through it. I'll show you how this works when we get under the car. I think my issue is that I trimmed the foam. So with less foam, there's more play on the actual transmission. There's no actual play in the linkage, you'll see that, but I think where it connects to the selector joint is where I made my mistake. First, we're actually going to pull the exhaust off this time, so I'm going to take the catback section, the UUC out, and then I will take the midsection off, unbolt it from the headers, and then we'll try and get the driveline out. I will specifically note that this is not a DIY video. There's plenty of write-ups, there's plenty of videos of people doing this correctly start to finish. I am simply just fixing one of my mistakes. So I'm going to get under the car, I'm going to drop the rear section. I probably won't record that part because it's not necessarily required to actually do this job. It's just going to make it easier. Alright, I don't remember what size the flange bolts are, but I know it's one of these, so let's go. Those bolts are rusty. The UUC is out. Let me get this mid pipe out. Looks like a few braces, a couple other things. Alright, back to the mid pipe here, we got some hangers. I'm going to go ahead and get these guys off, try and pry it out with the screwdriver. There's one. Yep. There's that. Alright, manifold bolts are up there. You'll see. There's one for the flange, and then there's the second set up above that. Alright, mid pipe is now out. Unfortunately, I did snap a stud on the exhaust, so I'm going to have to, I guess, drill that out and put a new one in, or I don't even know how that works, but I don't have to worry about that now because this isn't going back in for a while. Just kind of bummed about that because literally everyone went smoothly until that one literally snapped. Alright, good morning, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the current video that you're still watching. It's been about a week since I picked up the camera and we are still dealing with the selector joint. I have not touched the car since I recorded last, so we're picking up right where we started. Funny enough, for my birthday I got the Bentley manual so I can finally reference a book for anything I need to do on this car instead of looking through 15-year-old beamer forms and trimming the foam from a selector joint that put me in this position in the first place. All in all, hopefully we can get this done today. I wasn't planning on touching the car today, so I still feel like shit, but we need to finish this car, or at least the shift linkage part, so we can eliminate the selector joint as a possibility. And I am almost guaranteeing that once we replace this, we will have proper shifter linkage, and I can order a short shifter feeling comfortable that it will finally shift. Today is also not ideal because I finally, after years, got the rest of my tattoo done. and I'm gonna have to like cut up a sock or something so I don't get grease or something on it, because I got it yesterday and it's only there forever, so I would like to heal it properly, but I need to get some work done today. Forgot about all of these fucking rocks everywhere. So I took that heat shield off. There's a bunch of rocks underneath it. I definitely should have vacuumed, so get the fuck out of here. As you can see, our bolts here, right there for the guibo. So I think what I'm gonna try and do is actually just loosen these, pull the guibo out, and then like hang the drive shaft down. I'll try and find something to put under it because I know that's not great to just let it hang out. I don't want to just drop the whole thing because I really don't think I need to. But if I do order a center support bearing, maybe I will. I don't know, we'll see in a second. You will find out. Funny enough, it looks like somebody actually marked the drive shaft and the flex disc with paint, which is good. So that means that this has been serviced at one point. I couldn't imagine not having an impact gun for shit like this. So this would be ideal if you had a swivel in an 18. I just don't have an 18 with a swivel, but hopefully it holds enough, and then just take an impact, zap it enough to crack it, but don't. It just feels not right putting an impact on all this shit. I'm gonna take the whole drive shaft out at this point, just to replace everything. I haven't looked up how much that shit costs, but I'm gonna replace it anyways, I guess. Okay, I gotta get the last bolts. Hopefully the camera will see. They're back here, but maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll fucking find out. Extremely seized. Here she comes. I'm covered in fucking grease. Alright, I am kinda pissed. This is dumb as fuck. I walked downstairs this morning, realized I had this sweatshirt on. I was like, man, I should put on a sweatshirt that already has stains on it. And then I fucking ruined this sweatshirt. So, anyways, it's cool. Normally that shit doesn't bother me, but I really like this sweatshirt. Alright, here we are under the car. As you can see, this is the carrier bushing. The shift carrier is in here. This is your shifter here. I have it disconnected. You can reference some of my other videos if you'd like to see how to pull this off, but it's really just two clips on either side. It's a lot harder with all the shit in the way. There's also a pin that people refer to as the bitch clip. That would be to get the actual shift arm out. I really don't think I'll have to deal with that today, but if I do, it won't be that big of a deal because now that I've done it so many times, it's really not a big deal to pull that out. Only thing that's super annoying is this shit. I'll probably delete this because it's kind of in the way a ton. So it is my belief that this is what's creating all of my issue. As you can see, there's a lot of play right there. And I think it's because I trimmed the foam. You'll see what I mean. All right, again, sorry about the camera. I don't know why it doesn't focus, just not good at it. Anyways, this is the selector joint. As you can see, this is like brand new because I put it on a couple months ago. And how this works is the dowel pin, you'll see this guy, locks it in place here when you go through this hole. Then you put the clip over it so it locks it in there and it can't fall out from vibration or whatever. And what I ended up doing when I installed this is I trimmed the foam. You can see there's foam inside of there. Here are the two side by side. You can see this has way more foam, this has way less because I trimmed this. Do not trim it. It's a bad idea, and just take all the shit out to get to it. It's a horrible job. It sucks. It takes a lot of time, but you don't want to have to do it 3 times like I've done. So it's time to install this. I can't film it. Really, I can't. It's just the angle is too hard to get up there, but you saw where it was at and basically how it works. So you just need to take a pick, get it in there. I'm gonna try and get it in here without, I don't know, I'm gonna have to use a bunch of force, but we'll see. All right, an embarrassing amount of time has gone by. As you can see, I have the selector joint started, and I know you can't see because it's black. The fucking camera. Anyways, there is an Allen key. You can use a fucking stop. Alright, it has been a very long time, an embarrassing amount of time, but I do have the selector joint now installed. This pin has been started on the bottom, but what I wanted to tell you is that if you are doing this, you can use a 4.5mm Allen and use it as a guide for the top hole while you get the pin in through the bottom, or vice versa. But it's the easiest thing to do when the transmission is still in the car. if this is the method. You know, the best ideal situation is to pull the whole fucking trans out, but I'm not going to do that. Anyways, this is what I'm doing, so I just wanted to show you that that's how I'm getting it in. Alright, we are successfully installed. As you can see, there is a lot less play back and forth. Obviously it still moves because it has to, but there's a lot less. That clip, I actually forgot to put it on prior, so I had to force it on with 2 picks over this side. But now that pin is trapped in there, this can't go anywhere. So that was great news. It is time to put the shift linkage back together. I'm probably going to try and put it all back together to see if we fixed our issue, even though I will be installing a short shifter next week. Do yourself a favor and grease this part of the shifter before you put it back into the carrier bushing. You can see we're connected here and we are connected over there. There's still play in the shifter. I'll go ahead and get on top, get inside the car and show you. You can see there's play and it's in the plastic collar. So I am gonna order a short shifter anyways, so I won't worry about that yet. But this will be the very last time I touch this shift linkage. I am not doing this again. All right, moment of truth. I am less than confident at this point that this is solved, but this didn't hurt to correct regardless. Like, it's good that we did this. We still have shifter slop, which is fucking irritating. Yeah, we still have a lot, to be honest. All right, so all in all, I am not stoked. It's good that we replaced that, but it didn't fix the issue. I think we're close to figuring it out. I can only think of a very small handful of things that it could possibly be at this point. We have replaced the linkage in the actual carrier. We have replaced the carrier bushing. We have replaced the selector joint. Any other bushings associated with the linkage have been replaced. I've done them all, and now I'm kind of bummed because I don't know where the play is coming from, but I think the carrier itself might be damaged. So that's something I'll have to look into, but I won't know until I order another shifter and switch that in, because the shifter, the ball on the shifter is very worn. It's like gouged and it's not very smooth. It needs some help. So I'm gonna order a short shifter. We'll see if that helps, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna order a carrier. And if that doesn't do anything at that point, I am done fucking with the shift linkage. It's just gonna have to be the way it is, but at least I'll be able to say I tried, and hopefully I've made it a little bit better. But after replacing the selector joint, I would say there's a little bit less play in the shift linkage. So if you're considering doing the selector joint and you want to save yourself the headache, maybe don't do it unless your transmission is out or it's super easy for you to get done. I think realistically, unless you're ready to drop the exhaust, the drive shaft and everything, just to get to that, because it's pretty fucking doable without pulling all that stuff out besides the selector joint. Everything is good, but if you need to do the selector joint, you need to just pull all that stuff out. But if you're just looking to replace bushings, shifter, whatever, you can leave your drive shaft, you can leave your exhaust in. Speaking of drive shaft, I will be ordering a new CSB and probably a new 𝙤𝙦 just for peace of mind. So we will do that in the next video or whenever that stuff comes in. So then we'll be good on the drivetrain setup for now. Shift linkage will be rebuilt, completely done, and the drive shaft will be have new components as well. We'll then move on hopefully to the engine bay, or maybe we'll start on the rear end. Haven't decided yet. I need to order some more parts, and then we will eventually, the engine stuff is going to take a long time. So this car is not going anywhere for a while, but I would like to get this sorted so we can keep moving along. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. I know, just like everything else that I do, I feel like it takes forever and it's a total pain in the ass, but hopefully you learn something from it or learn from my mistakes. But that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.